I respect the fact that when you want to try to make some money online, right? You set out because you're like, man, I could really use some extra money. And you come across these videos, right? And then next thing you know, you start going down the rabbit hole. You start looking up on YouTube, maybe scrolling on TikTok, Instagram. And next thing you know, you're going to come across 20,000 different things of everybody telling you what you need and how to do it. You need funnels. You don't need funnels. You need website. You don't need website. You need coaching calls. You don't need coaching calls. You need this. You need to set up that. And I respect the fact that we need this information in a sense to get an idea of like what to do. But here's the craziest thing. When I first started, this is what nobody told me about making money online. I really thought I needed, a product. And when I first started, I was really into affiliate marketing because I just felt like it was like the easiest route, right? Because I could sell somebody else's product. I didn't have to make it or anything of that nature. And then I would hear like somebody like, okay, well, then they got funnels, they're buying traffic, all this shit, right? And so you go down like the rabbit hole of maybe I need traffic, maybe I need this. This is why I'm not successful. Oh no, this is why I'm not successful. In the meantime, it has nothing to do with none of that stuff. And that nobody will tell you this. And the crazy thing is most of you guys won't even watch this video all the way through. And I'm going to tell you why, because when I give you the answer to what really sets the winners apart, you're probably going to go ahead and say, oh, yeah, I knew that. Let me go to the next video. Or you're going to say, yeah, I already do that. And I'm going to call bullshit. And what that is are you really working on your mindset? You do not have a business problem. You do not have a lack of information problem. You got a personal problem that's reflecting in your business. You got a lack of application problem. And generally, it boils down to you're not really setting this. And I'm going to tell you right now, even Tony Robbins said this. He said, dependent upon your state of being, which still goes around your mindset, right? But your state of being, how you feel, your frequency is what you frequently see, right? Meaning how you feel is basically your perspective. And when I say how you feel, I'm not talking about whether you're sick or not, or you're healthy or not. I'm just saying your state of being. If I'm down and depressed, I'm going to look for more things to be down and depressed about. If I'm happy and grateful, then the world is going to be filled with opportunities and excitement. You see what I'm saying? And Tony Robbins even says it in a video. He says, even if you got the strategy, you wouldn't follow it dependent upon your state of being. Man, when he said that, that like literally rocked my world because it was so damn true. Guys, in 2021, 2022, I went through this little phase of my life. And I was really down and because I was, coming up on 40 years old and I didn't really amount to anything yet. And I was so mad because I don't know if you guys feel like me, but like have you ever kind of like felt like I know I'm smart. I know I'm better than what I'm getting. I know I'm more deserving. And I hate to say that, right? Like there's people out there that are very deserving of what they get. But you ever come across some of those people that are like just idiots and are making tons of money or just, you know what I mean? Or not all there and they're making all this money or they barely work and they're making all this money and you're like, what? Like I'm busting my ass and I know I'm smarter than these guys. I know you guys, I know I'm not the only one. Put in the comments, man. Don't make me feel alone on this shit. Like put it in the comments that like you have felt this too, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm coming up on 40 years old and I was just down and out, right? And I was like, okay, I'm going to go study these successful people because I don't know what I'm missing. And it was hard because when you start really studying successful people, and what do I mean by success? Everybody has their own definition of success. I'm just going to say millionaires, right? People that have made it, right? To me, millionaires, right? I don't care what you do with the $1 million after that, but did you just make the $1 million? Okay. Those people, like if you like you'll find like there's fat ones, skinny ones, tall ones, short ones, dumb ones, smart ones, pretty ones, ugly ones, right? The list goes on and on and on. And so what I started to realize, like I was asking myself these questions, like what is the actual common denominator of these successful people? And what I started to notice was there was a common denominator. And that common denominator was the fact that they really believed in themselves, right? Like, let's put it like this. And I don't know Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook. I don't know him, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and say, right? But or I'm not going to try to judge him to the T, but from the outside looking in, he doesn't look like he's like your typical ladies man. You're right. Like, he doesn't seem like he's going to go to the bar and woo a female. Maybe now because he's a billionaire, right? Of course he's married, but you know what I'm saying? Maybe because if he walked in, he said, "I'm Mark Zuckerberg, I'm a billionaire." Yeah, okay. But like in the beginning, I don't see him being able to really necessarily go in a bar and bedazzling some girl and, like, you know what I mean, and being able to get her number or something, right? I'm sorry, I don't see it. Maybe he has an awesome game, but now, if you ask that man how to code an app, he would laugh at you. He was like, "Man, I can do this in my sleep." In fact, he built Facebook when he was drunk, right? If the movie is somewhat true, what is it, that social something, right? If that movie is somewhat even true to how he really was, he built Facebook somewhat drunk, mad at somebody, right? You know what I mean? Or he had the basics of Facebook, right? So it's like, so he was confident in that. He believed himself in that. And this even goes back to like Kanye West. I don't know what you feel about Kanye West now, because I understand he's kind of like a little bit out there now. He's off his rocker. But before, if you ever watched that Netflix special where it was like, what is it, Genius? The crazy thing about him is he was telling everybody he was a genius. And then I saw it because his mom was putting it in his head, and he started to believe it and run with it, right? And he's even been on talk shows where he was like, "My mom allowed me to believe in myself," right? This all reverts back to your mindset. Because Tony Robbins even says, we don't experience life, we experience the life that we continue to focus on. I'm sharing all this because a lot of people always told me, like the old Jim Rohn and everything, if you don't know who that is, go look him up, right? He was like the pioneer of personal development and doing these, and doing speeches and stuff. But he always said, your personal development should come before, right? You'll never out earn your own personal development. And it took me a long time to understand that, because I thought maybe personal development was only boiled down to discipline. Discipline has a lot to do with personal development, but no, there's some people that are not fully disciplined and they're making tons of money. This has more to do with who you believe that you are in your state of being and your own personal self-concept. I cannot stress this enough. And I'm pretty sure if you're still watching this video, you have come across one of those quotes before. And let me know in the comments if you've ever come across one of these quotes. Put it in the comments. Have you ever come across one of those quotes that say, and they all like change a little bit, but you know what I mean? They'll say something like, success is 80% mindset, 20% mechanics. Or success is 90% mindset, 10% strategy, right? Have you ever seen any of those? Like, why on earth do we spend 100% of our time then on the 10 or 20% that has to do with success? Right? Why? We just still feel like when we have a problem, we got to go attack this problem. We got to put all our focus on the problem, right? Instead of making us believe that we can tackle it. And the funny thing is when we change our state of being and we have belief in ourselves and we know that we can be something greater, the right things will start to come our way. And I'm not talking about only synchronicities. It's just you will set your reticular activating system up. And I'm saying all this because I'm pretty sure some of you guys were like, "Hey, Justin, I just thought you were just going to show me how to make, a couple $100. I thought you were going to show me how to make $5,000. You know what I mean? What don't I need to know digital products and all that?" I mean, you do, but inside my app, we don't just teach you how to tell your story. We don't teach you just how to build a digital product around your story. Any of these programs can do that. What are you doing to work on you? So you show up, because like I said, even if you had the right strategy, you won't follow it. Guys, I see it all the damn time. Not only did I go through it myself, when I look back and I say, you know what, I wasn't really doing it. If you guys know anything about my story, there was a time where I was on YouTube and I was making money. But short-lived, that program went away, my money went away. I didn't know what to do from there, right? I bounced back. I was making some money some places, but then I stopped. That went away, right? Made some more money, stopped, right? It was just like a roller coaster ride. But yet now, since 2023, I haven't seen less than $12,000 a month. So what changed? It worked on me. I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you right now. I was on a live on TikTok one time, and this guy, he thought he was going to like catch me or some bullshit, right? Stupid. But he goes, "Hey, why don't you go ahead and tell the truth?" I said, "All right, let's tell the truth. Like I lie." He was like, "Well, digital marketing has a 98% failure rate." I said, "It sure does." He was like, "Oh, well, okay, yeah. See, you admit it." And I was like, "Yeah, it does. You want to know why? Because people have a failure rate. Do you know if I go down to my gym right now, they have a thing called a fucking treadmill. If I were to get on that treadmill and I were to use it, I would burn a calorie. If I used that treadmill, I would burn a calorie, right? What does that mean? That means that treadmill has 100% success rate. It has a 100% success rate. It does not fail if you get on and use it. How many people are on the damn treadmill right now? Right? So is it really digital marketing is a failure? The strategies are a failure? The bullshit courses are failures? All these other things are lies? Or is it just the fact that people focus on 100% of the only 10% of success? And then when you talk about mindset, these assholes just say, "Yeah, I got that all figured out." No, you don't. Just because you're a little bit optimistic or positive every so often, right, doesn't mean shit. So you're like positive. Cool. Like that is a good quality to have, but it doesn't mean you're actually working on you and dictating your perspective and and a number of things, right? But the thing that you really want to focus on right now is one, your own self-concept, who you believe you are and what you're capable of. And this comes through with visualization, self-talk, um, catching your thoughts, because that's one of the coolest things that you can do is become aware of your thoughts, right? So like what a lot of people do is when they start to change, they get upset that they caught themselves saying something or thinking something or even doing something. And I'm like, you can't get upset at that. That's a victory. You want to know why that's a victory? Because before you were unconscious of it and you were drifting and you were just doing it automatically. Like some of these people that come to me and say they're positive people will turn around and be negative as shit, and they don't even know they're being negative because they're so used to complaining that they say, "No, I'm positive." No, you just got done complaining, you asshole. You were just complaining like crazy. That's pretty negative. That has nothing to do with being positive. But they didn't even know it because they weren't aware of it, because this has become second nature to them. That's what I mean by mindset. That's what I mean. And when you start to make these changes, you start to become aware. Once you start to become aware, then you can make the decision to not beat yourself up, but call it a victory and now choose where you want to go. And if you do this if you do this often, you will start to rewire yourself and you'll go the other way. But change your self concept, right? Then you need to make sure that you are changing your state of being as well. Because here's the thing, even though you have a good self concept and you believe in yourself, you're going to go up and down throughout the day. Sometimes you're expanding, sometimes you're contracting. The times that you're contracting and you're vibing low, you need to find a way to pick yourself back up, for real. That way your perspective is good. Sometimes what we do is we get really low and then we make these life decisions. I've seen so many digital marketers have a bad day online or a series of bad days, not even knowing that they're projecting this over and over and over. And then you know what they say? They make a bad decision in this low, funky ass vibe saying, "I think I need to give up. Maybe this is not for me." It's like, well, wait a minute. If you don't like it, okay, I can understand that. Hey, man, tried it. I just don't like it. Okay, cool. Hey, I love this. I just suck at it. That's different. Don't. Then when you're vibing low, you don't make that drastic decision. Last but not least, you want to set your reticular activating system. Once again, this comes from um, visualization and things of that nature. What is your reticular activating system? I mean, I don't want to make this video very long, but I'll kind of go into it really quick. It's just basically that filter in your mind. I'm sure you've heard of it if you've been on some of these videos. I want to link a Mel Robbins video that was really good, but basically it's kind of like the whole car theory. If you're looking for a red car, right, next thing you know, you see the red car everywhere, right, because you set your mind to look for it. Well, the problem is we set our mind to look for the problem, right, rather than for opportunity of where we want to go. And this is a minor shift, but that's major, right? Because Tony Robbins said, "We don't experience life; we experience life we focus on." So if my focus is on the bad, well, I'm just going to keep on experiencing that. Does this make sense? But if I can kind of change that focus, right, to where I want to go, then we'll start experiencing things that align with this and you'll start seeing those opportunities. So, your self concept leads into making sure that your state of being is great, to making sure that your you're setting your RAS, your reticular activating system, so you know where you're going. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I wish they would have told me this. If you want to know what changed from this guy that was on and offline, in between jobs, failed businesses in the past, failed online businesses in the past, bad MLM that I went through, to now consistently making money, it would be easy for me to say digital marketing changed my life. But did it though? Did it though? Digital marketing definitely was the vehicle. But if I didn't know how to drive, because I know a lot of people that got into digital marketing and yeah, it changed their life too, but it changed their life for a month, maybe a few months. Now, maybe some of them really got consistent with it and got good at it, and they changed their mindset without even knowing that they were changing their mindset, and they stayed focused. I know a lot of digital marketers that even either haven't even taken off or they have taken off and then they've gone right back down, and they wondered why. Why not go? They weren't ready for it, right? So you'll never out earn your own personal development, and personal development is not just about discipline. Sorry if you heard that, but I don't feel like editing that out and re-recording everything. But it's just my dryer went off. But anyways, here's my thing: work on you. Okay. If you get anything for this video, and if you're trying to look to make money online, go find whatever it is that you want to make money online. If you want to be able to share your story, chop it up, and put it in a digital product, and I'll teach you how to do that, you can join my app. But here's my other thing: make sure you're working on you. And if you need to work on you, that's another thing. Join my app, because that's what I'm all about: becoming your best version and then learning how to utilize your story so you can take it to $10,000 plus months. Seriously. Everybody that I teach this to, the ones that put forth the effort, I'm not saying everybody does it, but I have multiple people that have hit $10,000 months in their businesses. And the reason why is because they started to work on them and learn how to share their story and change their energy and their perspective on how they were showing up in their business. And so I'm drastically leaving this video for you. Regardless if you join my app or not, please work on you.